my darlings, it's the start of another week and another YouTube video from me. We're all in this together, and I must say over the last week, just the sheer amount of emails I'm getting about mental health, anxiety, panic attacks, all of these things has really got me thinking. And I thought, I'm going to start this new year as I mean to go on. And last week I shared on a video, and I did an accompanying article for Anna Kennedy OBE and her charity Anna Kennedy Online, explaining about our daily dose and all the happy hormones and coping chemicals we need, even if we're not anxious or depressed, to prevent this happening. But if we are feeling those things, to alleviate the symptoms and take control of the memories we're putting into our own cells and how we're forming those neurological pathways. Because when you do things often enough, this is what you actually do. Because what they don't tell you in school always is that we own our own brains, and we do. They physically stop growing at when you're 18, but what you do with the grey matter and the muscles within the brains is entirely up to you. So with the more positivity and strength you can fill your brain with, the more you'll shrink the grey matter around the fear centre, the emotional brain, the amygdala, and the more you'll grow it around the hippocampus for memory and learning, and the frontal lobe, which, as I've said before on previous videos, if you imagine you're like a jumbo jet, your frontal lobe is the cockpit. It's got all the important stuff in there, all the stuff that's supposed to separate us and make us better than animals. Although sometimes I do wonder. I don't know why I whisper on YouTube videos, but I don't know. Anyway, so I thought last week was your daily dose, because I'm starting this new year, 2021, fighting. Starting as I mean to go on, staying strong. So this week is going to be about Take 5. That's what I've called it. I like to come up with these things. It's nice and easy to remember. And very often when we do feel very, very anxious, or we feel anxiety building up to such a point, it physically manifests as pain in the body, or crippling social anxiety. We can't go out, we freeze, even answering texts or phone calls can be a really big problem. It can really seriously damage our mental health. So if we take 5 every day and add it to our daily dose from last week, we're going to be going in the right direction, because we've got a little way to go yet through this. I know a lot of people have said to me last week, it feels like it's never going to end, and I do know what you mean, but it will, because things do. But we've got to stay on top of it in the meantime. So if you can think, along with your daily dose video from last week, if you can incorporate this Take 5, it will come in handy if you suffer from anxiety, panic attacks, OCD, which is an extreme form presentation of anxiety, or even if you're just feeling a little bit low, a little bit run down, and you want to keep on top of your mental health, this Take 5 might well come in really, really handy. So if you look at the letters of 5, F-I-V-E, we're going to do 4 simple breathing exercises that really, hopefully, you can remember and just take on board, and they're really, really simple to do. And a good time to do them is in the morning and in the evening, or when you feel anxiety building up. You could do it as many times a day as you want. And when you do breathing exercises, not only does it bring you focus, motivation, perspective, clear thinking and concentration, but it actually boosts all the serotonin and dopamine, the hormones of happiness, self-esteem, confidence, motivation, reward. We've got 90% of our serotonin is in our gut, and it all gets released from there, but it also gets our dopamine going for that reward feeling, that pleasure, that focus, that drive. Because when we're in isolation, it's really, really hard sometimes to stay motivated. Anyway, I always talk loads on my videos, so I'm going to really try and rein it in, because you want to take 5 and not end up with a thumping, blimmin' great migraine. So I'm going to crack on. So in one of my Mad Blue Peter moments, which you saw in one of my previous videos, I made a little balloon pot of breathing exercises. Obviously, you wouldn't rush up to a 20-year-old and do this with them, because they might be a little bit insulted. But it's great in a family. It's great if you've got younger kids. But if you have got somebody older, or you're living on your own and you want these breathing exercises, you don't need to make little bubble wand pots. That's just me, because I'm a little bit nuts and I like to make it fun and, you know, just, I don't know, breathe. We're just going to breathe and flow. So F is the first one. And actually I want to give you 2 for this, so I'm slightly cheating. I'm really giving you 5 breathing exercises. So the first one I want to share with you is called feather breathing. And if you can, if you don't have breathing problems or asthma or a cold or sinusitis, if you can breathe in through your nose all the way down to your tummy, where you can really get that serotonin and dopamine all on the move, that's what you want to do, that's second brain, get it all loosened up. Breathe down to there. If you can't do it through your nose, it's fine to do it through your mouth, but very finely. Breathe in through your nose, and as you blow out, imagine you're very, very, very gently blowing a feather down to the ground, very, very softly. So the exhale is very mindful and very soft and very focused. And this actually sends all the blood and oxygen up to the brain, boosts all your happy hormones and coping chemicals, and helps with that focus, which is so hard to keep. You know, my poor little Charles is doing his homeschooling for 6 hours in silence a day. So it's very difficult to stay motivated sometimes. So feather breathing, this is your first one for the F. So breathe in through your nose, right down to your tummy, the bottom of your tummy, and breathe out through your mouth. Very, very finely. Almost as if you were cooling down a hot chocolate or something and you had someone sitting opposite them and didn't want to scald their face. That, nice and gently. And breathe out like that. So if you say you were building up to a big panic attack, however, you certainly wouldn't be able to do that. You know, I'm quite aware of that, having suffered from panic attacks myself. So what you might need to do is something, I call it the big fish breathing or whale breathing, but as it's got to be F for 5, we'll call it the big fish breathing. So imagine that you're an enormous fish in the ocean and you've got a blowhole on the top of your head. And this one is a bit more fierce, and I'm probably going to look like a total wally doing this, but as you know, I really don't have an awful lot of shame when it comes to how I appear on these videos. I just want to help and have fun with you all. So here I am, I'm a great big fish bobbing around on the ocean. And you breathe in, but quite fiercely this time. Again, through your nose to that tummy. Get that second brain loosened up. Get the dopamine and serotonin flowing. And then as you blow out, imagine that you're blowing out that fear, that anxiety, that panic, whatever's terrifying you or freezing you. Though even if you don't know exactly what has triggered you, but just the feeling of it, blow it out of that top hole. Imagine you've got a blowhole that's almost the size of the crown of your head. I make mine really massive so that I can get as much out as possible. So you just breathe in through your nose and then out through your mouth. But it's a strong, sharp blow through your mouth. So I bet I look really attractive then. I'll do it again. And you just imagine it all blowing out. If it helps, you could even tip your head up and do it, you know. But that's a really good way. And, you know, it's a little bit like breathing into a paper bag, but you're letting it out. It's not as confining, because sometimes when people are having panic attacks, their breathing can massively help a lot of those issues. But for some people, it can actually make them feel worse. So you want to get that chest expanding. So for some people, doing that big fish breathing might actually be more beneficial than breathing into a paper bag. But try it out. Anyway, now we're moving on to I. And if you imagine that you're a big, big iceberg and you're gently going with the flow, but you're rooted deep, deep, deep in the sea. Because as you know, most of the iceberg you can't see, can you? Or it could be I for island, and you can be firmly, firmly rooted in the, you know, deep, deep, deep that way. So whatever you're comfortable with. So with this one, you breathe in through your nose again, But as you breathe in through your nose, you lift your arms up either side of you. So if you're in a wheelchair, you can do this. You know, if you don't have much mobility, just do as much as you can. Even if you can only get to here, it all counts, because visually you're picturing your arms coming right up here. So as you breathe into your tummy, again, getting those happy hormones and coping chemicals on the go, breathe in. Lift your arms up, and in your mind, just keep thinking, I am strong. I am strong. I am strong. And as you breathe out through the mouth, literally imagine that you're showering that strength into your body. You could even do a little sprinkle with it if you wanted. You could make it, you know, it's your mind, you're in charge of it. And as I always say on my videos, I share ideas, but whenever I do work with kids, families, young people, adoption agencies, wherever I am, it's very important to me that you make it your own. You know, you don't just do what I tell you. You know, I'm meeting you. You're not meeting me. So these are just ideas. And if you need to tweak them and adapt them slightly, or breathe in a colour that makes you feel strong, for instance, red often makes people feel strong, bring colour into it. So you can't do it wrong. The main thing is you want to get that feeling of strength. You're a big, strong island, standing on your own 2 feet, breathing in all that strength deep from your roots, pushing it through your body. So that's the I. So we're now going on to V. And being Italian, it had to be volcano. My nonna lived opposite Vesuvius. Well, not directly opposite. That would have been a bit dodgy, but you know, she could see it from her apartment where she lived in Mergellina. So elephant breathing. No, that's not a volcano. I'm not doing a retake. Volcano breathing. Now this is fantastic. If you imagine, again, this is a really good one if you can really feel that panic building. It's a really good one to do. It's a little bit the equivalent of when you put your head between your legs and you need to try and breathe. So that might be another one for you. But volcano breathing is something I love to do with all of my kids. And as you know by now, I have millions. I love it. Anyway, so volcano breathing, we're going to breathe in what's making us angry or anxious or fearful, frustrated, whatever feeling, emotion, or even event, people, whatever it is that is triggering your anxiety, you're going to breathe it. You're going to breathe to your tummy, and then you're going to literally blow as hard as you can straight out in front of you, imagining that it's all that lava, all that stuff you don't want inside you, all that stuff that's eating you up, stopping you thinking straight, and you're going to blast it out like a big lion's roar, like a big volcanic explosion. This is why I'm recording today in a big room, because sometimes I just think I must look like a wind turbine. Anyway, back to the volcano. So here we go, in through your nose. And I'm thinking of everything that's really triggering anxious feelings, you know, really making me feel that I'm not 100%, and I'm going to blow it out of my body. I don't want it in there. And at the same time, what that's doing, again, is stimulating all my happy hormones and coping chemicals. So here we go. I'm going to be a volcano. So doing that really kind of gets you on top of and in charge of those negative emotions that are building up inside your gut and eating away and stopping that happy hormone, the coping chemicals, the reward hormones surging through your lovely bodies and making you feel happier. So volcano breathing, that's particularly good if somebody's annoyed you. Instead of getting really cross or letting them make you feel anxious or crushed or small or insignificant, you know, it's taking your power back. It's like a big, you know, you're a volcano and you're letting that all out so they can have it all back and you are going to remain calm. So then we are on to E, the E of our 5, and that's elephant breathing. And this is a lovely one. And again, you can, all of this you can do regardless of age, ability, mobility, you know, wheelchairs, whether you're on your own, whether you're with other people. All of this is inclusive of everybody. And different abilities too. So I don't like to use the word disability, sorry. I would never call any of my children disabled. Neurodiverse is much better for me. Anyway, so E, elephant breathing. So with this, you're going to breathe deep, deep, deep again into your tummy. And as you do it, you're going to lift your arms up, but you're going to imagine your arms are a trunk. And you just go down, and the breath is firm but gentle, if you see what I mean. So it's not like the volcano breath or the blowhole. You're just breathing deep into your tummy, and it's like a fling. You're flinging anything you don't want away from you. And it's really good because when you exercise and when you expand the diaphragm, you're also stimulating the happy hormones and coping chemicals. And if you extend your diaphragm, it stops that awful hyperventilating feeling that you get when you start to have a panic attack and you're short of breath. It can feel like a heart attack. So it really helps with that. And again, it's a good one that you can do if you're actually right on the verge of a panic attack or you're suffering from extreme anxiety. So once again, I'm going to look like a total fool, but you don't have to go out on the road and do this in public or walk into Tesco's and go, hey everybody, and stand by the checkouts and do it. You can do it privately, unlike me. And all my children are going to want to move home. Right, here we go. I'm going to be an elephant now. So, down to my tummy. And it's such a lovely releasing one, that I love it. And I do it. Not in public. Well, apart from on here, but I do it. And by using the body and using the breath, which is free, you know, all you people who go to gyms out there, you're very brave. You know, you can't go to the gyms. You can't do this exercise at the moment. I know there are things like the fantastic Joe Wicks and you can do things, there's lots online, but your breath is free. Breathing is free. So you've instantly got it at your disposal. You don't need to go and put a face mask on and go to the shop and buy breath. You don't need to save up for breath. It's there. And it's our tool that literally helps when you've done it. When you do this as a daily practice, it starts to rewire your neurological pathways and the memory of your cells, and starts to take you out of that continual feeling of being somewhere on that 1 to 10 scale of fight or flight. So it's really handy as a preventative but also reactive measure to anxiety. But it's a general all-round good booster for your mental health. And I get my little Charles to do this little routine, take 5 every day before he starts his homeschooling, and the daily dose from last week. Poor boy. I bet he can't wait to get back to school. Anyway, for some children, I'm just going to finish on this note, for not just children, some adults, breathing can actually make their anxiety worse. You know, I'm thinking right now of a little boy who I see regularly who has pathological demand avoidance, and the one thing it actually makes him panic, I can feel it, is his breathing. So, you know, it's courses for horses. Not everything works for everyone. But one really handy tool when you're feeling that anxiety really building, and even when you're on the verge of a panic attack, and I've used this myself, is to find 5 different things of 5 different colours. So for example, it might be find 5 red things, find 4 green things, find 3 yellow things, 2 blue things, 1 brown thing. And you can do this inside or outside, or if you're in the car and you feel a panic attack coming on, or you're in your bedroom, doesn't matter where you are, you can do this. So for me, 5 red things would be the edges of some of my books, it would be the edge of my kindling box by the fireplace, it would be the lining on my coat, which my little boo is sleeping under at the moment, it would be the red record button on the phone now on the video, and it would be the heart that my angel on the windowsill is carrying. That was pretty good for just, sorry, I'm not boasting, but I didn't realise I was actually going to demonstrate this. I just go with the flow. So then what did I say? 4 green things, 4 green things. I can see the trees outside the window. I can see all the lush, I've got like these beautiful evergreen, they look like cacti, but they're not, tumbling over my stone walls. I can see, again, green books. I can see, a green lid to a candle that I've got on my table over there. Right, 4 yellow things. My 4 yellow walls in here. My favourite colour. Inject yourself with yellow, the colour of happiness. There, that was quick. I bet you're all losing the will to live. Then what did I say? 2 blue things. Okay, the blue in the background of a painting a very dear lady of mine, dear friend of mine did when I was pregnant with Ollie. Funnily enough, she was my best friend. She was 80 and she lived in an octagonal house, and that picture was on her wall, and she gave that to me for my 26th birthday. Not that you needed to know all that. Oh, and blue, I got blue on my jumper today. And the last thing was one brown thing. The shelves on my, I've got white painted bookshelves, but the shelves inside are brown. So there we go. And what it does, it puts you in that mindful space where you're totally, which is what mindfulness is, you're totally absorbed in the exercise that you're doing, and you're taking your brain out of that fight or flight and making it become instantly absorbed in something else. It will calm your breathing without the need for you to do any breathing exercises. It will stimulate your serotonin and dopamine, because mindfulness does, same as gratitude. And it will really begin to give you that focus and perspective, which is what we lose when we hit anxiety. So again, it's another really good all-rounder to do, just as a preventative for anxiety, but also for your general mental health. So I hope that's helped. I have gone on a little bit, but then I tend to, it's this not being able to talk to people, you know, it's impossible for an Italian. I think I'd need to be gagged, but I'm going to leave you on that note because I'm going massively awry, and I don't want to give you anxiety by giving you a half an hour lecture. So I hope you enjoy those things. Go and make your bubble pots if you want. Take 5 every day. Take 5 along with your daily dose from last week. And if you want to see or read a follow-up article about this and how it works on neurological, neuroscientific levels, you're very, very welcome to go on to Anna Kennedy Online, where there will be this video and a little bit of a 1-minute read article about it. So enjoy and have a really lovely week, everybody. And remember what I've always said throughout this YouTube channel experience. It's your channel. It's not mine. It's not some horrendous Juliana show. It's yours. And an awful lot of what I share with you is based on the emails I get and the messages I get from all of you out there. So if there's anything you need particular help with, please do drop me a line. And if I can't answer you all personally, because it has got a little bit crazy lately, and I don't mean to sound like I'm bigging myself up, but it has, please don't take it personally. I get back to as many people as I can, but there will be a video because I read every single message and email I get. So have a lovely week, everybody. And I'm with you all, you know, we're in this together. So take good care, stay safe, and try not to be too frightened. I know it's hard, but try. And hopefully by doing your take 5 a day, it will just help you keep a little bit on top of things. And I'll see you all really soon. Lots of love.